What's going on, YouTube? D.M.W. Autos back again. Today we have a 2015 Honda Accord EXL push to start, and we will be installing this MPC remote start system. Says scan a QR code for some directions, so we'll probably definitely use those, but let's get into it. So first thing we need to do, we'll turn the car on just so we can turn the wheel, right? And it's 2 notches on each side, so that notch and that notch, we will be using a pry tool to push up on those notches to get this top cover off, and then we'll hit the screws on the bottom to get the bottom cover off so we can get to the electrical behind the steering wheel. So let me do that. And another thing, you also want to drop the column all the way down and then pull it out just so you can get all the parts. So make sure you do that as well. And we lock it back in, and we already popped the tube off. So as you see, that comes off like that. You don't need to take it all the way off, but now that we got that off, the bottom piece has 2 screws at the top, 2 Phillips head screws. So we'll need to remove those and then check under the bottom. So, okay, now that we got the 2 screws removed on both sides, come under the bottom. All right, when you come under the bottom, you go all the way to the back. It's another Phillips right here you gotta take off. So let's get this off, and that should drop the whole column down. All right, and with the screw removed in the back, that should drop the entire column down. With that drop, we can get this out the way and get to the instruction manual. All right, y'all. So now we got this all the way down. Yep, let me see what we gotta do wire-wise. I think this plate also needs to come down too. This is just an easy pop out. As you can see, just take this. And this is also connected to everything on this side. It comes off pretty easy. There's a couple connections back there. We'll unplug and we'll get this whole plate out the way. All right, y'all, these are the package contents. This looks like the brain, the T-wire and harness that's plug-and-play. This is a button for something. We'll figure it out. And this looks like to program this. So let me see where these connections go. And we can get the. You definitely gonna need some T-taps too. Make sure you have these, because some of these wires will need to be tapped into some of these harnesses behind the steering wheel. So let me figure that out. We can go from there. All right, so way under the dashboard is a black box, right? And this box has 3 different connectors on it, I think. So I'm gonna unplug all of these, right? Because these will go into the new T harness. So let me figure out. All right, y'all, so these 2 connectors here will go into the black box. So we'll only be using the gray connector and the tan connector. So we'll plug these into here, and then these 2 connectors will plug in here. So the original ones will plug into the new ones, and then the ones from the T-tap harness will plug into this box, the PCM in the Honda. So let's get it. All right, so it's 3 connections, like I said, 1, 2, 3. We only use the top 2, so 1 and 2, and as you can see, they hook up to the T harness just like that. So if they will fit. If they don't fit, then that's the wrong connection. So I can actually put this back just so it's not throwing you off. Yeah, that'll go back in. This will be like this. And now these 2 pins will replace where the factory wires were connected. So let me get these plugged in. All right, and now, so we know the blue one that comes off of the T harness goes at the top. Second one goes in the middle. Like I said, it's plug and play, so if it doesn't fit, it's not the right spot. We got the factory connections going to the new T harness. So now we have this part left to do. Looks like a couple wires we probably have to tap into some of these connections under the steering column. So I'll get to that next. All right, so the two harnesses we're gonna need are right behind the turn signal. That's a blue tab, so we'll need to use this one. And then this blue one right here, under the steering column right here. We'll need to use this one as well. So I'm gonna unplug both of those, and I will show you which wires you need to tap on both. All right, so on the bigger blue connector, right beside the brown wire, they said this was light blue, but this looks more gray to me. That's the one we tapped there, and then on the smaller one, right beside the big yellow wire, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a gray wire that I tapped right there. And I'll also drop the picture so you can see it a little better. Let's keep it moving. All right, so the wires you need to use from the kit is a pink wire, and that one will be connected to the tap we put on the smaller blue harness, and then an orange and black wire, which will be tapped to the bigger blue harness. So I got those connections. Now let me see what else we need to do. All right, down to the programming. So this Evo 1 module, you gotta pair it with the vehicle before you can actually use it. So basically, what we need to do is make sure that none of the connectors are plugged into the Evo 1. So we're gonna disconnect all of these because we will need to program it without these connectors. All right, y'all, so the first step is to press and hold the program button and then plug in the 6 main connectors. So all right, so when you get both of them lit together, we're gonna release the program button. So the red, the red and the blue lit together. We'll release the button. Okay. So now the next step is to press and hold the program. Okay, so we did that until the lights. All right. Now we're gonna connect everything else together. So go ahead and get on this right. Good. All right, now we're gonna press and release the program button 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So now we're gonna turn the ignition on. So what we're gonna do is hit the start button twice. All right, so now we turned them off and we got them flashing. Alternatively, disconnect all the connectors first and then the 6 pin. We're gonna disconnect everything. So now on to the next step. We'll need to flash this with the flash link programmer that came with it. So you'll need to hook this into a Windows computer and do the update. So I'll show you how to do that also. All right, so this is how you plug it in the side. Now you'll need to download the software from this site above. I'll put the link in the bio. So you go through the installation process. Next, install. Wait for the program to install, and then we'll be on to getting everything hooked up. So now that's completed, you'll hit next, finish. All right, now you got the software installed. So now you go and open up the program, Flash Link Manager. That will then bring up the software that you need to actually program the module. So as you can see, it detects the connection to the module and the USB flash. So it was a passcode provided once you purchase this. They gave me an email to type in and a password, and that will allow you to log in to use the software. So you do need a login for it. All right, so once you logged in, as you can see, it wasn't detecting the flash link updater through the USB port. Like, it was a little finicky, so I had to fiddle with it, and then I finally got it connected. And you also got to connect using that red and blue wire that came with the pack. You got to connect that to the module. So the USB updater has a red and blue wire that you got to connect to the module. All right, so once everything is connected, as you can see, the status is at the bottom of the green. We'll go over to the tabs on the left, and we have to input some vehicle information. So doing the vehicle specific setup, the Honda 2015 Accord, the trim is just going to ask you push the starter key. Standard installation, standard connection, and then down on the alarm system, we just go ahead and do the drop down box and put built-in alarm, and from there that will allow us to load the settings that we need to get this on over to the Evo module for the correct settings. So we hit load. It's taking its time loading all of the firmware and stuff. So once that finishes, we will go to the decryptor tab. And then in the decryptor tab, we need to transfer the data. So we'll hit send data, and it will do its thing. All right, so once it finishes, it'll show you the screen, and basically it's just telling you that you can disconnect it and go ahead and throw it into the vehicle. So that's what we will do. All right, so once you get everything at the program, get everything plugged back in, we're gonna go ahead and stash this off to the side like this and back up under here. So let me get this zip tied up and then I'll show you how to do it. All right, so what I did was zip tied the module around this metal piece. As you see, all the way around, it's zip tied. Just stay right here so it doesn't move. And then this wire here, we'll just tuck this out the way so it doesn't show in between the steering column covers. And then this down here, we can just zip tie this up so it's kind of out the way like that. And we'll be good to put everything back together. Okay, so this whole piece, we just push this in, make sure not to get the steering column release lever stuck under there, right? Push that in and then put the bottom cover back on with the 2 screws at the top on this side and then the one at the bottom as well. You see it down there. So now you just clip this top part back together. Okay, we got a little wire showing right here, right? So what we're gonna do, tuck this inside of here. Yep. Just like that. And just like that, guys, we'll be back together. So let's lock it and give it a try. Make sure all the trunk and everything is closed.